Here's 5 tricks that all good barbarians know in Pathfinder 2e. Number 1. Athletics. The athletics skill is a main way that barbarians can debuff opponents. Grappling and tripping are both excellent ways to make foes flat-footed to the entire party, and barbarians are one of the best grapplers in the entire game. For feats, Furious Bully allows you to gain a +2 bonus on athletics checks for attack actions, which grappling is. Then you've got Thrash and Collateral Thrash. These 2 feats allow you to do damage to a grappled enemy even if you don't have another hand free, in addition to other enemies if you've got Collateral Thrash. But the best feat that barbarians get for grappling is of course Furious Grab. This feat allows you to grab an enemy for an action after you hit them. You don't even have to roll athletics either. Now that is awesome. Number 2. Dealing with flying enemies. Barbarians can deal with ranged enemies on the ground just fine thanks to sudden charge. However, flying enemies laugh at barbarians because rage damage applies to very few ranged attacks. And there's nothing worse for barbarians than the dragon flying just out of their range preparing to use its breath weapon. Most barbarians can use bows. However, that's not a great option because barbarians are strength-based. Raging Thrower is a low-level option. But if you're an Animal Instinct barbarian, that is off the table, as is using a bow. Some races do get flight, but not without a penalty to strength or waiting until extremely high level. Dragon Instinct barbarians can get wings earlier though, thanks to Dragon's Rage wings. Spirit Instinct barbarians can take Spirit's Wrath to hit enemies from up to 120 feet away. Giant Instinct barbarians can get quite a bit of reach. If you're an Animal Instinct barbarian, there are a couple of options. You can take Oversized Throw, allowing you to throw objects at flying creatures. Another option for all barbarians is to get a hold of an Extending Rune for your weapon. For 2 actions, you can give yourself a 60-foot reach for 1 attack that round. You can also rely on spellcasters in your party to cast things like Command and the Fly spell. But the best option is to get the flying enemies to come to you with Come and Get Me. Make the enemies think you're weak, and then grapple them when they come to attack you. Barbarians have options for dealing with flying enemies, it's just a lot of players don't realize it. Number 3. Abuse those consumables. Any character in your party that can make consumable items, whether magical or alchemical, should be your best friend. If you don't have one, then try to find the items I'm about to cover in your adventures. Need a certain type of energy resistance? Energy mutagen, or a potion of resist energy. Opponent really wearing you down and you need extra hit points? Juggernaut mutagen. Need flight but haven't gotten wings yet? Potion of flying. Want more actions? Potion of quickness. And there are many other options. Definitely use those consumables. Number 4. Intimidation. Frightened is one of the best debuffs in this entire system. Gives enemies a penalty on everything they try to do. Martial characters like barbarians get it through the demoralize action under the intimidation skill. However, barbarians have a major problem. Demoralize has the concentrate trait, which means barbarians can't use it while they're raging. However, barbarians do have a few options. One is to get a fearsome rune on their weapon, but unfortunately, the fearsome rune only applies on a critical hit, which means you're not going to get it very often. Not as a barbarian. Terrifying Howl is a great mid-level option. Not only do you get to demoralize while you're raging, you get to demoralize every enemy within 30 feet of you, all for 1 action. But if you're looking for a low-level option, Raging Intimidation is the feat for you. This gives you Intimidating Glare and Scare to Death the moment you qualify for them, without using a skill feat slot. In addition, both these feats gain the Rage trait, which means you can use them while raging. You could also take Battle Cry to intimidate foes before you even rage. Also, keep in mind, Frightened stacks with flat-footed, which means if you've got a foe grappled and frightened, they're taking at least a -3 to their AC, and at least a -1 to everything else, including their escape checks. Intimidation is definitely a skill you should think about if you're building a barbarian. Number 5. Archetypes. There are a ton of archetypes that can help barbarians. Want to frighten enemies but don't like any of the options barbarians have? Archetype into fighter and take intimidating strike. No concentrate trait, and if you crit, they're frightened too. Want to be able to heal yourself and allies? Archetype into cleric. Want to give yourself more actions or give enemies less actions? Archetype into literally any other spellcaster. Just be sure to take Moment of Clarity so you can actually cast while raging. Want to be even better at grappling opponents? Take the Wrestler dedication. There are plenty of archetypes that really help out barbarians. And that's going to do it for this video. If you guys want to see me do more videos like this, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, teamwork is vital.